Welcome back. This is the second half of my Electra guitar collection. These are the 9 guitars I couldn't squeeze into the first video. I'll do a quick flyby here, and then we'll describe them one at a time. Starting at the far right with this wildly shaped Futura in red. The model number is, I believe, XV1RD. They made a white Futura in pearl white with gold hardware that, interestingly enough, is kind of the mirror image of this. In other words, the upper horn is on the bass side of the neck as opposed to the treble side like this guy. They've got really hot MMK pickups, and it's got the push-pulls built into the tone controls just like the X935 Endorsers. It's got a nice Phoenix neck, Phoenix headstock. Some of these pointy guitars had, well, pointy headstocks, but not the Futura. And laugh if you will at this, they're actually really comfortable, nice playing instruments. The second guitar with the Buck Owens paint job is the 2238 Telecaster copy. This particular one doesn't have many stock parts on it. It originally would have been black in color. A former owner put on the red, white, and blue, and I kept it. I also threw in a Seymour Duncan stacked humbucker in the bridge. The compensated brass barrel saddles I put on there. It does have the output jack right on the control plate, which is how you can spot these from afar. Even if they've been repainted or whatever, they're not going to have the output jack on the side of the guitar like a Telecaster would. These have really thin necks. The nut width is under 1 5/8 inch. The early ones, which this is probably the oldest guitar I'm going to show you today, built in 72 or 73. This one has like a 24.5 inch scale, so it plays different from a Fender Telecaster. I personally really like it. If you ever get a chance to play one of these Electra Telecasters, by all means do. This is the 2259 double solid SG copy. This is a super late one with the wave style headstock. The vast majority of them would have the open book Gibson style headstock. Nice dressy neck with the block inlay markers. This is a bolt-on guitar. It does not have a set neck. It still plays really nice. This particular one, the action is super low. It's got the knockoff Bigsby tailpiece, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's what came on it. This one's totally stock and in actually pretty good shape. Moving along, we've got the X290 Workingman in black. This would have been the entry level of the Workingman / Invicta, along with its brother, the X280 Workingman in walnut. These are both bolt-on necks with plastic nuts. Your basic 2-tone, 2-volume controls with a pickup switch in a curious place behind the stop tailpiece, but I find it's out of the way and actually a pretty good place to put it. You're never going to hit it accidentally, that's for sure. These are super light, under 8 pounds, and some of them are under 7 pounds. Really comfortable guitars. You can play all night and won't feel it the next day. This is its big brother, the Invicta 260, X260 that is. This is a really early one. This particular one was made in January of 1980. It's got the tiger striped maple top on a mahogany body. For about the first 4 months they made them this way, and then they would go to a plank style body like this Workingman. It's got the coil cut switch underneath the controls. It's got the control indicator dots. I'm going to turn it around so you can see. It's got a set neck. It's got a smooth heel. Very comfortable. It's got the belly cut. Just a cool little instrument. And here's its brother, the X260N, the Invicta Natural, or sometimes called the Blond Invicta, with the maple fretboard, maple cap on the headstock. This has got the brass nut on it. It too is a set neck guitar. They're functionally identical with the 3 knobs, 1 volume, 2 tones, the coil cut switch there, but cosmetically different from the ground up. Just the interesting juxtaposition there. The maple ones, I'm certain they're that rare, but they don't come up that often. I think people tend to hold on to them, and when they do come up, they go for a premium just because you don't see them often. Very interesting guitar. Now, moving on, we've got what looks like a lot of these other guitars with 1.5 cutaways, but this would have been the premium arch top X935 Endorser in black. This is a later one. This particular one was made in, I believe, May of 1983. It's got the arch maple top on a mahogany body. It's got the push-pull switches built into the tone controls. Brass bridge, brass nut. It's not only a set neck, it's got the scooped out heel. Very comfortable guitar. This would have been at the very top of the line as far as Electras in the early 80s, which would have been the end of the Electra dynasty there. By 1985 they will be known as West Tone. So this is kind of the end of the last hurrah for Electra. This last guitar here is one of my favorites. It's the 2267 Maple Pro. You can see it's a ES335 knockoff. This particular one is just really pretty. It's got the vines on the vine inlay on the fretboard, and unlike the X810, these vines actually line up with the fret markers, so they're helpful. And if I can show it, the flowers are actually kind of a rose-colored pearl, so you know they were really going all out to try to make this as dressy and whatever, and as nice a guitar as they could. One of my favorites. Nice light guitar, great action, plays really nicely. Back it up and see if I can get them all in the frame again here. And there you have it, part 2 of the Electra collection.